I feel Lagos is the creative hub of Africa. You know, the amount of creativity that exists here is limitless. And the world is beginning to see and experience it. With the right environment, I think that things are going to just sort of like boomerang and get bigger and bolder.
Lagos offers is so cosmopolitan and so vibrant, and it's always, you kind of always get an answer, whether negative or positive, almost immediately. So if you're testing something in the market, you know almost immediately whether it's going to work or not.
Lagos is the place to be. It's the creative center, nerve center of Nigeria. It has impacted my art tremendously. It made my art more visible. It has its challenges in terms of traffic, high cost of living, but it's that city that makes whatever you do amplified.
I mean, what's distinctive about Lagos is that it's overpopulated and oversaturated, but that also lies an opportunity that it means that you have a bigger market and a bigger audience that can see your work and see your product. And in the context of our work, it means that there are so many women with so many different ideas and issues that they're tackling, and that gives hope that that there will always be someone who is tackling a specific issue that may not affect you or affect some other people.
My name is Bolanle Austen-Peters. I'm the founder of Terra Culture, BAP Productions, which is a production house, and Terra Academy for the Arts, which is a learning management school, an online school, and we also have practical workshops in different locations. I guess my journey started 20 years ago with the founding of this space, where we focus on everything arts, from visual arts to culinary art to performing arts. We're into filmmaking as well now, so the art of storytelling in all its different ramifications through every different media that you can think is what we've been doing for the past 20 years.
My name is Iruobe, and I'm the creative director for my namesake brand called Iruobe. It's a design house for women's wear based in Lagos, Nigeria.
I'm a fifth generation textile from my own family. And when you are born, they train you. The first training you get is what your parents do. And that is how I was trained into handwoven, how to do adiretu, which is called Adi, Are, Adire. It's the name of Nigerian textile. And when the work is dying off, that is why I decide to have a center, so where I can be training some of the women who are still like me, who have no job and who have no education. But now I'm not only training the people who have no job, I'm training different universities.
My name is Kolawole. I am an artist and also a lecturer at the Department of Creative Arts, University of Lagos. I am the founder of the Women and Youth Art Foundation based here in Lagos, Nigeria. The Women and Youth Art Foundation, popularly known as Y Art Foundation, was set up in 1994 as a means of creating a platform for women and youth to learn various artistic skills. And our intention was to look at underserved communities, to look at women who are living under the poverty line, to teach them particular skills that would help them to earn a living and to earn better. And most times we go into these communities to teach them various artistic skills.
My name is Emalohi Iruobe. I am the founder of Tribe XX Lab. By profession, I am a lawyer. I have a bachelor's degree in finance and banking and a doctorate in law. I started Tribe XX Lab in 2018 on International Women's Day as pretty much a direct response to the restrictions on women renting spaces for their offices or their homes by landlords who require women to have a male chaperone when they want to get a space. Tribe XX Lab was created to make a space for women to work together. It started out as a co-working space but has evolved now into a community space where female entrepreneurs in any endeavor can creatively find common ground, incubate their ideas, network, and help each other get a seat at any table that they want to work at.
A woman entrepreneur working in Lagos, as the very popular statement or saying goes, even generally, that when you're a woman and you're working somewhere, you're trying to do something, you have to work twice as hard. Here, that is the super duper case. Like Lagos, it's a bustling city, there's so much creative energies and all, but there's also so much, going on here. I can't say for the whole of Africa, but several parts of Africa and Nigeria is a patriarchal society. Like generally, women are being looked down on. In some parts of Nigeria, a woman can't even own property. Like even in Lagos here.
Like a woman tends to juggle a lot more and being more flexible. For me, for example, when I'm looking at recruiting people or working with people, I often look for women who maybe have had a career break, so I know it's more difficult for them to get a job, or people who are looking to change their careers. So I might employ somebody who has just had a baby, for example, and give her a little bit more opportunity, give her flexible working hours, give her opportunity to work from home when she needs to, so that she can look after her family. Because I understand that if her family is well looked after, she will do better work.
There are challenges really in getting funding, appropriate, adequate funding, to grow one's business. And while there are more organizations and banking, financial institutions coming up now to support women, it's still not enough. We still have a long way to go.
There's still that stigma a woman has to fight harder. And so I think it's even more remarkable that so many women are successful here. They have to innovate more to overcome that barrier and those obstacles. There's a lot of little companies or businesses that are more female-driven within the creative industry, and they work a little bit different than the male-driven businesses just because of their nature. And the funding, the financing institutes need to kind of accommodate that.
The thing about being a woman generally, we always find a way to make things work. Like if this doesn't work, you try something else, and then you are always looking out for other people as it were. So I think being innovative generally even comes with being a woman, if I can put it that way. So, but despite all, we still keep, trudging ahead and hoping that things get better.
So, at Terra Culture, we're constantly changing. We're constantly innovating. And the reason why we do this is that we recognize that, first, business is not static. Second, culture is not static. So we're on a journey. I see Terra Culture as being a journey that never ends. Maybe when we built our theater is one. Because what that did was it changed the face of musical theater in Nigeria. We have one of the best venues for sound right now in Lagos. So if you think about any music artist that is out there, from Burna Boy to Olamide to Davido to Wizkid, every single one has performed in this hall. Not because it's the biggest, but because the quality of sound is the best in Lagos today. And so what it has done is allowed us to create musical theater at a level of excellence that we would otherwise not have been able to. So the development of that infrastructure has affected the industry significantly. And in building that theater wasn't easy. I had to run around, raise funds, etc. And today we have a theater that has been replicated in 4 other venues in Nigeria. Without infrastructure, you can't do much. So for me, that is a pivotal moment in defining theater for Nigeria.
One of the things that we do with our brand is we tend to support other brands, and that has come from a sense of when I first started, I didn't have any support. I couldn't find support in Lagos, and it was very lonely. It was very difficult to navigate the terrain, and so once we kind of found our footing, we decided from the get-go that we would always be in a place where we could support and offer resource to up-and-coming brands and anybody that needed the kind of help that we had found along the way and we could offer. So that's one of the things that we did. When we came, there really wasn't any manufacturing structure for small fashion businesses where you just wanted to do small runs. So it was either you were going to big factories that were mass producing, or you found a couple of tailors and you worked with the tailors. So for us, being able to first of all identify that Lagos at the time, we're talking maybe 10, 15 years, 13 years ago, that Lagos was retail ready and ready for off-the-rack pieces was very, very critical. And the way we found out that Lagos was because we didn't have anywhere to go to get the information, so we did our own tests and our own experiments.
Conceptualizing the idea, coming up with the name Tribe XX, which XX stands for the female chromosome, and really saying, let me bring a bunch of women together who are probably going through this, make it easier for them to have an office space. Instead of charging them rent for a year, they can pay quarterly, and actually putting all that together was very pivotal. We opened on International Women's Day in 2018, and nothing like that had ever been done before. Yes, there have been groups and organizations focused on women, but a physical space, a physical location that women could congregate, the programs were about them, the decor was about them, the programming was about them, was new and groundbreaking, and that was very pivotal and important for me, even though at the time I was creating it, I didn't know how groundbreaking that was. In addition to a lot of this work, we usually have workshops that allow women or participants to really speak about their issues and share knowledge and ideas about how they're dealing with matters. One of the events we had organized in 2018 was called the Market March, and the idea was really like having a bunch of women go to open markets together where street harassment is really rampant, to say that actually I should be able to walk through Balogun, I should be able to walk through Teju, Lagos Island, any market without being grabbed, groped, catcalled. So that's how we combine social justice with our work, especially when we focus on using creative outlets as a way to express these issues that we're facing.
So I have about 265 women which I train back into the adire. But some of them already, they are weavers. So those women are now training other people. When we train you, you train others. That is why I have 4 centers in Nigeria. The name of our own cloth is called Adire. We have Adire Eleko, which is hand painted with chicken's feather. We have Adire Alabere, hand stitch with raffia. We have Adire Eleso, corn or millet tie. We have Adire Uni pattern, which is stencil with paste, which is our own local cassava food. Our daily food is what we use. Everything is organic. You take something from the earth and put it back into the earth without any chemical. And that is why this cloth is very, very important. It's indigenous to us. It's our heritage, and we have to keep it.
How do we support the work of women and youth in the foundation? We do that through 2 main ways. The first one is to identify a community in need, and then we go into that community. We meet with the women in that society, and then also look at the so we decide to use what's available in that community that the women can source without difficulty. And then we conduct workshops within that space. And after doing that, we identify lead or potential facilitators who can continue to pass on skills to other sets of people within the community. So we also focus on the younger generation, girls' schools. We go to girls' schools and we teach these young girls how to produce art, but not just producing art, but also learning the business of it. Because we also realize that a lot of them can help their parents. They come from very poor homes, and they can help their parents with school fees or maintenance allowance. Because instead of going on the streets selling bottled water or hawking things on the streets, they can actually produce clothing that they can sell for even much more. And so these are ways in which we, try to impact these young girls and teach them entrepreneurial skills so very early. And doing that, they can also assist their parents in many ways. We'll also be able to head the Department of Creative Arts and to help shepherd or shape the lives of students who have come under my purview has also been a great privilege. And I think that these are highlights of my career.
The biggest challenge for any creative, for any entrepreneur anywhere in the world is access to funding and funding. And this is a big issue here in Nigeria, both for women, for also all genders within the creative space. But in general, funding is the big issue. Nigeria is seen as a third world country, and a lot of funding for activities that are around women, women's rights, civil rights, civic rights, and creative industries usually run on the goodwill or the values seen by funders or clients and customers. And it's a general thing that a lot of people who do not understand the role of creatives in keeping the world upright tend to shortchange or pay less than creatives deserve. And so the funding is needed. The understanding of the value that creative people are bringing to the world has consistently been a challenge, in Nigeria and anywhere else. And so in a country that traditionally views women as less than men and is really, really focused on gender roles, it is even harder for a woman entrepreneur, a woman creative entrepreneur to really have the funding, the support that she needs.
I believe that there are still certain organizations and financial institutions that give grants specifically now, but then a lot of women do not know about these grants. I am a beneficiary of several grants, right? But I realized over time that people do not know that these grants exist, and they don't also know how to find these grants. They don't know how to apply for these grants. So these are quite challenges that are being faced.
Okay, so how we are addressing the challenge of access to funding is really having workshops where we teach women or anyone who comes to the workshop how to apply for grant funding and how to actually stand their ground. So a lot of international organizations or donors, when they say they want to fund or sponsor, they make the application process very tedious without actually understanding the localities within the country. So you apply for funding and they say we want 3 years tax returns, but in the localized context of Nigeria, a lot of entrepreneurs are solo. They don't have that, but that doesn't mean they're going to steal the money and run away. So we teach people how to apply for these grants and how, in the process, if you get a grant, negotiating your contracts and being able to say, you know what, I'm going to walk away from this fund or from this grant, even if you really need the money.
And then also in Nigeria, we have a lot of talented people, I would say, but many also are not skilled.
Our education system doesn't really lend or support the fashion industry in a way that I think it could, because we have a lot of people that are interested in going into fashion or interested in working in fashion, but we don't have formal structures set up to educate people properly.
Women need a lot of education. For you to be a successful entrepreneur, you must have some level of education. For the women that we worked with, some of them are so talented. They have a lot of skills, but they have no idea how to take it from point A to point B. And it's so important that they have some level of education so that they can keep an inventory of what they've done, they can keep their books, they can present good images of their work, they can do a lot of things that a client will look at and instantly be attracted to purchase. And without having these skills, then they still remain in that very pedestrian space where they cannot really go beyond that level.
Education is the key. Without education, we will not even know how to use this camera. Me, I don't know how to use camera. I don't have more than primary 6. But with the help of education, the people who are using textile, they can develop more, they can do it with machine, they can do it with printing. And we people who like to use indigenous one, we continue to use indigenous one. So the education has changed a lot and the social media has changed it. I will thank you people. We thank youth because Nigeria and the world belong to the youth.
Terra Culture is a platform. It's a platform where stars are discovered and made. And we keep churning them out. And with the academy that we founded during COVID, supported by MasterCard Foundation, we've been able to even stretch further our shoulders. So we have to date about 14,000 young people who have graduated from our academy, from the wealth of knowledge that exists in Terra Culture, from stage to filmmaking, to visual arts, to bookstore, etc., etc. But what we've been doing in the academy is that we're ensuring that we have 70% women's participation. So in the north, in Nigeria as an example, we have a lot focused on bringing more women into the tech space. So we're encouraging more women to learn, get skilled, and get into this creative space.
We lack data. We as creatives, essentially, in the end of the day, we have to get funding, so we need to approach either grants or banks or any kind of financing opportunities, and we lack the data, the numbers to back whatever business plan we want to portray. So it would really help us, and it's kind of hard getting data because a lot of creatives are not big on giving data. So we need the researchers, the institutions, the policymakers to either get the data, demand the data, make policies that actually can acquire this data and share it with us so that this industry can grow.
If we're able to create a system or a network or some sort of platform where we can have some form of communication and help and support amongst ourselves, especially in the area of raising funding through grants, this would go a long way. It will help to, at least, take down that stress in raising funds?
I think it's very important to cater for the needs of women, and that is one of the reasons we set up the Women and Leaders Foundation. We do not exclude men, but we want women to know that there's one place they can come to that is specifically made for them. And so it's important for them in many ways because they're able to network. When women speak together, when they come together, they speak about their common problems and they can find solutions. They can also make suggestions that can be shared on platforms. There are quite a number of them that are in existence now. Women entrepreneurs can have better access to markets. They can provide information to women who are within the group. They can latch on to these opportunities that are available, particularly in the urban environments. They also can influence policies because they know, what affects them as women. They can initiate these policies and push them through. So it's important that women work in such close groups, particularly women entrepreneurs, women artists, women academics, so that they know and are able to share knowledge. Knowledge sharing is so vital. Once you have knowledge, you are empowered.
Seeing the impact of TribeXX Lab on people within the community, I started it out as a co-working space, but women on their own within the space began to congregate in the community spaces, and this is where a lot of conversations spurred on and led to a lot of new fractions breaking out from these meetings at TribeXX Lab. What do I look forward to in the future for TribeXX Lab? I look forward to stepping back from being the main creator of ideas and programming. I'm looking forward to opening it up to other women, to younger women, to diverse women, to gender expansive women who have a different viewpoint or a different background and experience from me.
I just believe that anybody who is able to create anything is a genius. It's easy to be a consumer of products or content, but it's very difficult to create anything. So for me, any human being who is able to use their creative energy to bring out something that never existed before, whether it is material or something that is untouchable, for me, you're my inspiration.
We still want the name of our country because textile and all the work of creativity is like ambassador. It's like our own gold to the country.
And there's so much to learn from our culture. There's so much to learn from our traditions. And I think that this is such an important aspect of being here in Nigeria. And so it's this knowledge that I package and take onto the international plates. And I think that is the importance of taking what you have as an artist and putting it out there on that platform internationally or globally, so that people can see and connect to it.
I find that a lot of the times, because people are not familiar with what the industry, how the industry operates and how, what it needs, they're not really sure how to support it. So again, it comes back to, what policies can there be and who are the people that would lobby and put these things out for us to even know, for the people that could help to know what kind of help is required.
We don't want a classic type of support where it's like, oh, let us meet our quota that we gave a female-led or a female-focused organization funding. There really needs to be a commitment to actually supporting the work beyond funds, to actually listening and to actually working with any stakeholders that have the power to make policy, to change law, to pass bills. That is really necessary for our work and for women in general.
What I look forward to is an understanding by philanthropists and government of the potential of this industry. They don't get it. They still don't get it. And the beauty of what is happening in Nigeria is that with or without them, the industry is forging ahead. So if you imagine what has been done in the music space without philanthropists and government, and the same goes for movies and so many other spheres or sectors in the space. You know, a lot of these things have been done without government, without the philanthropists that could possibly make the difference in Nigeria. So the day they get it, if without them we're doing what we're doing, imagine if the industry is well funded. It is wealthier than the oil that they're focused on, but they don't seem to get it. So for me, it's that enlightenment and education. The minute they grasp it, Nigeria will be on a roll.